This is a Tracking the Tropics update with the certified most accurate weather team at First Coast News.
All right, good morning. I'm Lewis Turner, meteorologist here at First Coast News. I'm going to let you kind of absorb the cone of Hurricane Milton on your screen right now while we let a few folks come in, get ready to go. We're going to do a little chat. We got Good Morning Jacksonville here for the local folks, about to come on TV about 4:30. We actually start at 4:30, but we'll go till 7 o'clock and we'll do updates all morning long. Kind of your big updates. We got the 2 a.m. advisory. That's what you're seeing on your screen there. And then we'll get a 5 and then an 8 and an 11. You'll get the cadence, right, every 3 hours. But the big updates will be your 5 a.m. when we'll get new positioning, but also new track with Hurricane Center guidance and perhaps a tightened cone or a little wiggle with the cone as well. How's everybody doing? Chime in. If you're feeling zesty and want to get a little comment going, cool. We're going to try to get some questions answered. We'd love to do that, as well as we go through the graphic presentation. And then, let us know where you're watching from. I know a lot of folks here locally, when I say locally, we're in Jacksonville, Florida, but you can watch this from anywhere on Mother Earth. So wherever you are, let us know and how things are looking for you here on a Wednesday morning. All day, and it's already been an all-day scenario because a lot of us here came in a little around midnight, a little after, and all day I've been getting my days mixed up. Just one of them things, man, getting old. All right, so let's dive right in. All right, so Hurricane Milton, still a Category 5 system with 160 mile an hour winds. So 157 is that bottom line of a Category 5. It's a matter of semantics. I mean, you're talking the top end of a 4, the bottom end of a 5. When you're making landfall at strength like that, you're getting 12 to 15 foot surge right on the leading edge and just to the south of where the storm makes landfall, which is what makes this kind of the element so important with the direct area of where it will make landfall. Now, the Hurricane Center's centerline guidance and the cone has dipped a little bit further south of Tampa. I'm going to explain to you a little bit, amateur meteorologists, professional meteorologists, if you're watching, or if you've just tracked enough of these hurricanes, you know the front right side of these storms, whether they're coming from the Gulf of Mexico and traveling west to east, or they're coming from the Atlantic that we've seen and traveling east to west. It's the front right side because you got forward momentum as well as the wraparound winds going counterclockwise that kind of double up the forward push and the fetch, so to speak, of the ocean water that create the surge. So a little bit further south is a better scenario for Tampa Bay, specifically the water that would just inundate the bay and create catastrophic storm surge. They're not out of the woods, and this certainly does not indicate that there's still a 60 to 70 mile wiggle, just a standard deviation with a margin of error that the Hurricane Center builds in. That's why they have a forecast cone, and you can think back to certain hurricanes that have just ridden the edge of the forecast cone. That's still a very high potential situation. But with that current centerline guidance, if you look there south of Tampa, that would mean that the worst of the surge stays south because it's on that front right side of the storm. So you're looking at Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda, Fort Myers, even with even higher storm surge along the west coast. Now, as it crosses the state, what we're going to be dealing with here locally, that southern tick does improve our conditions, especially for more northern areas along the First Coast and the First Coast News viewing area. That would mean southeast Georgia, inland southeast Georgia, so the inland along the coast. The coast will have more gusts, and then our friends along the I-75 corridor out towards Lake City, things like that. In the meantime, though, St. Augustine, St. Johns County, Flagler County, Putnam County, and southern Duval, the impacts more or less have remained the same. So here's a look at Milton on the infrared satellite view, and one thing I kind of hone in on is just the symmetry of that eye wall, and the eye itself about 8 miles wide, so that is very compact and one of the textbooks one of the pictures in the meteorological textbooks that you study in college is the figure skater who pulls her arms in real tight, and that tight kind of pull is what makes her spin faster, right? So think about that with a hurricane. The tighter, more symmetrical the eye is, the generally the more strength the storm has. So that's why it's holding on to that Category 5 strength, 160 mile an hour winds. You'll notice the trek northeastward has begun. The reason for the more southern sort of push on the line is because that began a little bit later than National Hurricane Center guidance. So let's go over some First Coast Milton impacts. We're backing up because of the shift a little bit to the south. It slowed down a little bit as well, with landfall now sometime late tonight. So while most people would be sleeping, landfall will be occurring in Tampa, or at least just south of Tampa right now with that current forecast, and that would be in that 2 a.m. time frame. So we're backing up our main First Coast impacts. The most dangerous 12 hours will be midnight, so 12 a.m. technically Thursday, right, into 12 p.m. that lunchtime Thursday afternoon. Strong gusts, still anticipating power outages with a storm surge along the river, along the coast, intercoastal waterway. We need to be in our safe place this evening. The time to prepare, really, we got to be done with that. Looking at our satellite and radar around Jacksonville, we do have some showers already. There's a front, and it's the front that we've been talking about that's going to help steer Milton and keep it to the south. But we've already got those strong winds out of the beach. Mayport, 14 miles an hour sustained, 21 sustained in St. Augustine. Those coming out of the northeast, which is already pushing a good bit of water into our rivers, our estuaries, and into the marshes. A big satellite radar view now you're starting to see on terrestrial radar, the actual eye. So obviously getting closer to land, a lot of that radar would be radar sites off of Cuba. So thinking Havana, but we're getting Key West radar sites starting to pick up that eye as well. And you can see down in the southern tip of Florida, that would be in the Everglades area, but you've got a couple of tornado warnings. So again, front right side, we'll be getting the highest risk of the tornado. Look at the eye. I had measured a minute ago with it, about 8 miles. There is your front. Behind that front, the northeast winds, and also helping kind of, that's where the shear would be coming from, the high pressure behind that front. Drier air behind that front. So that's why the Hurricane Center is confident that while it is a 5 now, it shouldn't be at landfall. A little bit of wiggle. All right, taking a look at one computer model. This isn't the official forecast, but this just shows that barrage. And let's focus less on the timing, more on the barrage of rainfall. Still confident that despite the little southern tick with the track, Palm Coast, St. Augustine Beach, Crescent Beach, Butler Beach, just heavy rain and banding, and those strong northeast winds. That's a beach pounder. It is an erosion maker. It is a surge creator as well. Now we get through Thursday evening, Thursday later in the morning, I should say. Last of those bands really coming through, and by later on Thursday, let's call it after lunch. Like I said, 12 a.m., 12 p.m. after lunch, we'll start to see things begin to improve. But I want to watch two specific high tides. The one overnight, Thursday early morning, that 1 to 2 a.m. high tide, and then again the afternoon high tides, that 2 to 3 p.m. high tide, which I'll show you on a chart here in just a moment. Your tropical alerts, hurricane warnings in place for St. Johns County along the coast in Duval because of the potential for getting those strong gusts, and then Putnam and Flagler County, hurricane warnings. Tropical storm warnings in place for Duval, Nassau, Clay County, Columbia, Baker Bradford, Union, down towards Alachua as well. All right, tropical alerts as well with the storm surge warning that we get that 2 to 4 foot surge in the St. Johns River and along the St. Johns River. That includes downtown, but also down through Green Cove, the Clay County neighborhoods along the St. Johns River, and into Putnam County towards Palatka as well. The intercoastal waterway also highlighted. So your high tides that I want to really focus in on. At the Main Street Bridge, we're talking about downtown Jacksonville. A little bit later, of course, being a little upriver, 3:03 in the a.m., 3:21 p.m. And of course, you extrapolate out 12 hours for each of these things. So you can roughly estimate when the next high tide would be after that early morning one. The first one is going to be while most people are sleeping. Fernandina Beach, 2:12 a.m. St. Augustine, 1:52 a.m. St. Simons, 1:37 a.m. Palatka, all the way upriver, 8:30 a.m. Could be some high water coming up into Palatka, and then you see your afternoon ones as well. Once we get through that second high tide, that Thursday afternoon high tide, we should see some rapidly improving conditions. My guy Andy's on the ones and twos. Andy, how are we doing this morning?
Good morning, Lou.
You good? You feeling good?
Yes.
This isn't your normal shift, is it?
No, but when working with you, it always keeps me awake. You keep me going.
What a gentleman.
It's a great compliment.
A gentleman. If you get any questions, blurt them out to me. If you have anything specific, let me know. But Andy's controlling all the wonderful graphics that we see here, getting up and down.
Shout out to Nick. He's doing that currently.
Nick is helping us out as well. Nick, thank you, sir. You're the man. All right, let's take a look at our wind risks. So we numbers are important. Numbers matter. The words we use matter, right? So 40 miles an hour, you typically bring that up because that's the level of wind when bridges close. And anywhere highlighted in yellow there, coastal Glen, coastal Camden, through Nassau and Duval and northern portions of St. John's. We certainly could see bridge closures, but that would be late Thursday night, again through that lunch hour Thursday afternoon. Widespread trees begin at 60 mile an hour. These would be sustained winds, and we could experience that where you see the orange shading there, southern St. Johns County, southern Putnam County. The closer you get to the actual center of that hurricane, closer to the I-4 corridor. Your gusts, well, you get 60 and up, that's when big tree limbs will begin to come down and can cause some damage. So let's go county by county. Yes?
Real quick,
Please.
Carolyn that's wondering about Riverside, she says, Jax is looking not so bad outside of coastal. You can comment on that. Should Riverside area expect heavy wind and rain, but not as much as before the southern tick of the track?
Oh, tell me your name, I'm sorry.
This was Carolyn.
Carolyn. I know this is like a two-way street here. Carolyn, Riverside. I wonder if you remember, were you around for Irma? If the answer is yes, then this won't be that, right? So a lot of people have the trauma from Irma, the incredible flooding from Riverside, San Marco, up Kennight into downtown Jacksonville. That we were talking about minimum 5-foot surge downtown up to a 7-foot surge with Irma. And there was also 20 inches of rain that fell with that particular storm. So this won't be that. Right. However, when we get the 4-foot surge at our high tides, and I mentioned downtown, that would include Riverside. When you get that 3 a.m. and then roughly 3 p.m. high tides, just watch as the river water will be coming up into streets, and we get that 10 inches of rain falling downtown. Certainly some flash flooding will be possible, but I don't think it's going to be in the realm of what we saw with Irma. Gusty winds, certainly, I think downtown we're going to get those 40 mile an hour sustained, those tropical storm force sustained for periods of time, which could close bridges. But as far as the hurricane force conditions, don't anticipate that too widespread for downtown. I hope that answers the question. And I'm also going to go over the county by county stuff now for you as well, which kind of will highlight what we're talking about. But starting with the counties that are going to get hit the worst, Putnam, Flagler, with those hurricane warnings in place. I'm going to stick each county. I'm going to kind of continue that same 12-hour period, that midnight tonight into lunchtime Thursday, and those hurricane force conditions will be possible in gusts for Putnam and Flagler County. St. Johns County, where there have been evacuation orders in place, specifically along the beaches, along the Intracoastal Waterway and the St. Johns River, and areas south of 206 because of on water because of the surge potential, 3 to 5 feet possible. And if you think back to some folks have memories in St. Augustine of Matthew. If you were around for Matthew, you remember how devastating those floodwaters were. That was a 5 to 8 foot surge. On the top end, we're talking about a 5 foot, so 3 to 5, so not quite that level there. Duval Clay, your worst midnight to lunch. The impacts of a 2 to 4 foot surge, we'll call that along the St. Johns River. Worse the further out towards the ocean that you get. Winds at 40, as mentioned, sustained. Gusts 65 possible, but that would be very, very quick and short-lived, which will mean some branches would come down, power outages as well. Street flooding into businesses and homes, especially in areas that are, you get it, and they're used to it, towards San Marco. All right, Nassau, Glen, Camden County, the worst midnight to lunchtime, 1 to 2 foot surge there. Coastal Glen, so St. Simon's Island, Jekyll, coastal Camden County, way out towards Cumberland Island, but also St. Mary's. You could get gusts up to 50. Columbia, Baker, Bradford, Union, power outages. I'd watch out for that. Have the storm plan, have the batteries and the ways to charge devices as we get rainfall 1 to 3. Not a rain issue, just those gusty winds at 40 and up. And where Charlton, Brantley, and Pierce will kind of close out with you guys with rainfall at an inch. So the further north that you get away from this, just the vastly different impacts. Gusts to 35 in inland southeast Georgia, but there's so many people who still don't have power there, or maybe just gotten the power back on. I'm worried that you may lose that power. So anyway, Andy, yeah, I'll put the 7-day up, but so you can kind of absorb that for a minute. But what else we got going on?
Linda asked, she's in southeastern Ocala.
Nice.
Praying winds are on the lower side as my humble home is an RV.
Oh.
News out of Tampa shows doable winds for my area. What about the news out of Jacksonville?
So interesting. You bring up Ocala, Marion County, and I wish you the best. Certainly, depending on what side of the county you're on, the further north you're going to do better. How mobile the RV is, if you can get up just a little bit and move. But I've been talking. There are people who have, Marion County's horse country. And in all seriousness, I mean, the Jacksonville Equestrian Center. We heard Mayor Jacksonville talk about this yesterday. That they've taken horses, out of Ocala, and they've evacuated the horses into the Equestrian Center on the west side of Jacks. And we've seen. I was talking to somebody keeps horses there in Ocala, and have moved them to Georgia. So there's that element. People are nervous about that. But you being in the RV, I think about you. Obviously, there's officials have been saying the manufactured homes, the homes that aren't tied into a foundation. You might want to find a shelter where possible if Marion County is providing those. If not, maybe just get a little bit further north in the county, if at all possible. What else we got, Andy?
Ruskin. This is, I think this is near the Tampa Bay area.
Yeah.
Ruskin.
Yep.
Let me look up. Should Orlando worry for damage?
Orlando has the potential of flooding, certainly, especially with all the heavy rainfall that's going to come straight across the state. And then, I'll zoom past 7-8. The only reason I wanted to look at the 7-8, I'm looking forward to the weekend, man. I'm looking forward to the weekend.
I like that Friday, Saturday.
Look at that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I mean, Friday, 72 is a high.
That's crazy.
Sheesh. All right, but the Orlando question it kind of can be answered as we zoom down into the close-up of the cone. See where Orlando is oriented pretty close to a Category 1, maybe even a Category 2 hurricane. How much weakening is going to happen between the run from Tampa to Orlando on I-4? Now, if the track holds and Orlando's on that more northern side of the storm, this is a north-heavy storm with rain and impacts. So, yes, certainly Orlando seeing those hurricane force conditions. If we're calling hurricane warnings in St. John's, Flagler, Putnam, there for Orange County, up into Seminole, you're going to be certainly dealing with those dangerous conditions in Orlando. So we're going to be back on TV 4:30 a.m. on Good Morning Jacksonville. If you're in the local area, definitely tune us in. But we'll have that on First Coast News Plus as well. So stream constantly. We're going to do another update here for you on all the platforms. Again, with our next big update will be 5, and then again at 8 o'clock. So I hope to see you then. Definitely keep checking in. Stay safe out there. In the meantime, I'm Lewis Turner signing off. We'll see you later on.